Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, which is entitled as Sannyasa Yoga. Sloka 54. Brahma-bhūtaḥ prasannātmā na śocati na kāṅkṣati samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām. A person whose buddhi is purified by his sattvika dhritti, he was able to control his senses from the sense object. Therefore, he cast away likes and dislikes of those related to the sense object. He chooses to stay in a secluded place so he is not disturbed to focus in dhyana. He keeps his body light by not overloading his stomach. He is able to engage his body, speech, and mind in a way it is conducive for meditation. Every day he continues to maximize the period of his dhyana that he is able to do because of vairagya, by being dispassionate towards the material things which are external to him. He becomes free of ahankara, no more thinks himself to be the body, free of vasana bhalam, free of darpam, arrogance, which arises due to ahankara. He is also free of kama, krodha, and he discards anything, any objects connected with the body. He is free of mamakara, that clearly understanding the position of the family members, friends and relatives, therefore not being too attached to those relationships, and he finds highest joy in meditation on the self. Such person becomes worthy to experience the self as it is. Let's rewind back to see how this person came to this position. A person comes to a realization that all these unlimited lifetimes he had not valued the greatness of self, Atma. Rather, he was taking life after life after life into this world, struggling for survival, to find pleasures and happiness to satisfy his senses, mind and body. When he comes to this realization and understands that the goal of life is to please the Lord is pleased when one follows his instruction given in the scriptures. The Lord has given various means in which one can pick and follow that to attain an eternal happiness. Disregarding those instructions, he was trying to find happiness by himself. All he was ending up was frustration, disappointments, life after life. But then, when he takes the step to follow the instruction under the guidance of a spiritual master, that's when he started his spiritual journey. Following the instruction from the scripture is one aspect, but following the instruction without any expectation is the next higher aspect. But when one tries to do this one, one's previous vasanas will certainly pull one through the senses and mind into their way. That time, one should not compromise with them, but strictly abide these 3 slokas in the dhyana nishta stage. By doing so, one will be able to have the vision of the Atma darshana. At that time, one really experiences the joy by seeing the Atma. It doesn't stop there. When we get the Atma Darshana, we will also develop the desire to see the Lord as the next stage. Since this person has already studied, heard the glories of the Lord, now his desire increases to see him in person, which will lead him into bhakti yoga. And this is the result of attaining the vision of the Atma. It will get one to start bhakti yoga, and that bhakti yoga will then eventually give one moksha through the mercy of the Lord. This is what will be discussed in the following sloka, starting from 54th sloka. Sloka 51 through 53 are the prerequisite for attaining the Atma Anubhava, the experience of Atma, the Self. One who has seen the Atma, then one progress to get parabhakti, that is attained when one understands one is not independent, one is dependent, and one is subservient to the Lord. In this stage, he becomes desperate and feels great separation from the Lord. When he experiences the connection with the Lord, he is in joy. When he feels the separation, he feels distressed. He comes to this stage because for him, everything else other than the Lord are useless. This stage of bhakti is said to be parabhakti, supreme devotion. Now let's understand the meaning of the sloka. Brahma-bhūtaḥ, experiencing the nature of his self. Prasannātmā, fully joyful because he is bereft of the influence of vasanas. śocati, does not grieve about the loss of anything, but he grieves for Krishna. kāṅkṣati, does not desire any objects, but he desires for Krishna. Sarveṣu bhūteṣu, towards all beings, samaḥ, remains the same. This is to say that he is being indifferent towards everything. That also includes his self, his Atma. We will discuss this more as we go into the detail of this sloka. Parām mad-bhaktiṁ, the supreme devotion, parabhakti, labhate, attains. Translation: one who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Brahma-bhūtaḥ. Here, the self, Atma, is referred as Brahma. How can an Atma be called as Brahma when this term Brahma is generally refers to the Lord? This is not the new question. We have discussed this several times in the past. But to restate in short, before this stage, Brahma-bhūta stage, he was thinking himself to be the body, nothing else. He is just made of body. His jnana, knowledge at that time were constrained, limited just to that concept that he is body. But now that knowledge has expanded and become effulgent like that of Brahman, the absolute Lord. Therefore, Atma in that stage can be referred to Brahman. He has cleared his karmas by following karma yoga. Again he cleared further karmas by performing dhyana nishtha. At that time his knowledge is fully blossomed, where he was able to have Atma Darshana. He understands the original nature of the Atma, which is a form of knowledge, and that Atma is Sesha, subservient to the Lord, which was already explained by Krishna himself in the 7th chapter, 5th sloka. Aparayam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me parām. There is another superior energy of mind, which compresses the living entities. That is, the jiva belongs to him, and the jivas are subservient to him. One who is in brahma-bhūtaḥ stage becomes prasannātmā, undisturbed, unflickering mind. One cannot stay in a place where there are a lot of turbulence. Likewise, to think about the Lord, would it please Krishna to dwell in a turbulent mind infected with likes and dislikes, raga and dvesha? We have never seen a swan likes to swim in a turbid water. So the mind should be free of turbulence, where the Lord can dwell. What does it mean to be free of turbulence? Prasannātmā. Prasannātmā means when the mind is bereft of any ills, thoughts, ideas, like identifying oneself to be body, claiming ownership of entities which in fact doesn't belong to us, which belongs to the Lord, having pride, having dualities of likes and dislikes, needless attachment for many things, mostly improper objects. Such mind which is free of all these ideas is said to be pure, and only such person can be prasannātmā. All this while he was thinking himself to be the body, thinking himself to be independent from the Lord, thinking himself to be the only doer, thinking that no one above him. All these thoughts are gone for good. He understands that he is not the body. He understands he is not independent, he is fully dependent on the Lord. He understands he is not the only doer. There are other factors involved for him to do any work. He understands that there is someone above him who is supreme and superior. He could not come to an understanding of these things earlier, because of punya karma and papa karma, which was traveling along with him from life after life after life, which made him into a state of accepting dualities, sometime happiness, sometime distress. When happy moments comes in his life, he is joyful. When distress comes in his life, he laments. But now that he is free of those karmas and vasanas, he doesn't get affected even when the most joyful things happens in his life, or most miserable things happens in his life. They do not bother him at all, because his focus is fully on the Atma and is experiencing the joy of Atma. And that's all is concerned about, nothing else. There are 4 things which generally affects us: klesha, karma, vipaka, and ashayai. These are the 4 which affects us. Klesha, which is also referred as pancha klesha, the cause of sufferings. Karma, that is the reactions. Vipaka, the result of one's action. Ashayai, impression, vasanas. One who has attained the Atma Darshana is completely free of these 4 things. We have covered about the Pancha Klesha in the 6th chapter, verse 13 and 14, part 6. But we will just name them here. For details, please refer to that session. Klesha, the cause of suffering, are 5. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha and Abhinivesha. Avidya is ignorance, that is identifying oneself to be the body. Asmita is pride that comes out of avidya. Raga, liking. Dvesha, dislike. Abhinivesha, having a fear towards things. Fear of losing something which one likes. Fear of gaining something which one doesn't like. These 4, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha, are the 4 branches of the root, Avidya. Number 2 in the list, the earlier list that we saw, one more time, Klesha, Karma, Vipaka, Ashayihi. Under Klesha we saw 5 of them. They are Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. The next one is Karma. One is free from Anadi Kala Karma. This includes good and bad karmas. Good karma is like a golden chain. Bad karma is like an iron chain. Both are chains which keeps us tied into the samsara. These both, good karma and bad karma, does not impact him. The third is vipaka, the result that comes out of the karma, birth, death, etc. They do not impact him. Ashayayihi, vasanas, the impression that has been carried for several lifetimes, that doesn't impact him either. So, klesha, karma, vipaka, ashayayi, none of these 4 is going to affect this person. These are the things when a person is affected, start thinking himself to the body, start thinking himself to be the owner of things around him, start thinking himself to be great, which leads to pride, and he falls into the duality of likes and dislikes, and he gets attached to many improper objects. Therefore, his mind is fully disturbed. Whereas this person in the stage of brahma-bhūtaḥ is not disturbed because he is not affected by any of these 4 things. Klesha, karma, vipaka, ashayayi. Therefore, he is prasannātmā, extremely pure with peaceful mind. So we covered the first line of the sloka, brahma-bhūta prasannātmā. How such a person is not affected is discussed in the next line of the sloka, which we will discuss in the next session. Namaste. Hare Krishna.